I want to show how to grade a tree, how it's done here. I'll actually do three trees. I'll do a really nice tree, a medium tree, and then a really poor quality tree. Okay, let's start with a nice tree. Let's make it a fir. That's simple enough. Let's give it a big nice height, 50 meters, and to make things simple, let's just go 100 meters dBH on it. Okay, there we are. We have us a tree. You can see its shape and everything. It has 10.88 cubic meters in it, gross merchantable, and you can see right here how it goes up in meters, clear up to 49 meters, then it runs out to basically zero. And this is its shape. For example, at 25 meters up, its diameter is 53 centimeters. This is all according to the Kozak equation. Okay, let's say that I thought at 25 meters for some reason it was only 50. Okay, I can change it. See how it changed all around it just to make up for that? It changed the adjacent things. I think it was originally 53 or something. Anyway, I rarely ever change diameters manually because you usually don't need to. I think the Kozak equation is pretty good. If I turn this into a cedar tree, let's have a look at it. See how it changed shape? Tree changed shape. When I change it to a cedar tree, I'm going to go back to fir. Anyway, that's what it looks like. Okay, so we have a really nice tree at this point, okay, and it might not stay this nice. But anyway, to begin with, here's our grades. Let me move these over a little bit, like that, so we can see them all. What this is the computer has figured out that for each 1 meter as we go up the tree, it will meet the following grades. Okay, like down here, the first 4 meters will meet D grade, then 19 meters will meet F grade, and so on. Okay, so because here's the grades. Here's D. Okay, here's F. F's very complicated when you got knots on one side, different sizes. Then you got 25% clear on the bottom, 50% clear, and 75% clear on the bottom, depending on the size of the tree, etc., etc. B, of course, is the peelers. That's complicated. H is complicated. I's less complicated. You get down here to the U's and stuff, it's less complicated, but it doesn't really matter one bit because the computer figures all this stuff out. Okay, so once this is figured out, it would figure everything out. It'll do the entire thing for us if we want it to, but I don't want it to. Because I want to look at these lengths, and I want us to have a good hard look at these lengths because it makes a huge difference on what's going on here. Okay, we got 4 meters of D, but it says here we can't have 4 meters of D. We have to, our minimum length is 5. Well, why can't we reach 5? What's wrong here? It's because it says it's 71 centimeters diameter at 5 meters, and we have to have 75, not 71. Won't make the grade. We don't have D. We sure have a lot of F, 19 meters of F. But let's say that our tree isn't quite perfect. It's pretty darn good, but it's not perfect. Let's put in 3 centimeters of twist right there. Okay, well, did that make any difference? I forgot. I didn't really see it. Whatever difference it made, it wasn't much, little tiny bit. 3 centimeters right there. Okay. 3 centimeters, everything's looking pretty good. What happens if we went into 4? You think 4's not much different? Oh my goodness, look at the change there. Look at the F and the B we lost. Just by not looking at this right, we have completely changed the grade of our tree. Well, you might say, well, maybe it doesn't make that much difference. What the heck? Let's go right now, assuming that the truth of this tree is that it's got a 3 centimeters of twist. Let's ignore knot size. Let's ignore any pathology and all that stuff right now. What can we get here? According to this, we can get 17 meters of F grade. Well, just for the fun of right now, we're only going to go for 13 meters. Let's grab 13 meters of F right here and say that that's what the tree grades out at. And we're only going to worry about this. Oop. Didn't mean to do that. Anyway, we've got that. Okay, so we got 13 meters of F grade wood. Okay, so what's that worth? Now you come down here and it says that, my goodness, that chunk of F, now this is as of January 2020, the government's posting on the internet of the log prices, timber prices, okay? It would say that much F is worth $2,300. Okay, maybe we can even remember that. 2300, say, or 2302. Right there. Okay, now let's say that we put this in at 4 centimeters. Now all of a sudden, look at this. We can't get any F at all or any B. We can get lots of C. So let's figure out what we can get for C. Well, we can surely get 13 meters of C. So let's grab the 13 to begin with and we'll just replace it. Okay, so we got that. We got that. Okay, now all of a sudden it says that our tree is only worth 1,078. So we just lost $1,200. By calling this by 1 centimeter out on our twist, our tree we're saying is now worth $1,224 less than what it really is. Let's assume that in reality it was a 3 centimeter twist, and say, hypothetically speaking, but we called it a 4. We just cost $1,000 here, $1,200. But it gets worse than that, because we got a 15-meter radius, fixed radius plot right here. So every tree counts for 14.1 trees per hectare. So you multiply it by 14.1. We just lost, or we're telling our client that there's $17,257 less timber value out there per hectare than what there really is. Okay, and it gets worse than that. Let's say our block's 30 hectares in size. Okay, then all of a sudden we're telling them that there's $517,000, over $500,000 in less value out there in the block than what there really is. Because I'm assuming that, let's say that we're constantly overdoing, we're constantly just calling twist a little too much. And then we're telling them that the wood's worth less. Let's say we're calling twist not enough. And then we could be $500,000 the other way, tell them there's $500,000 more wood than there really is. So the point is, we got to really be precise on our grading. And a lot of us don't think twist, really amounts to much, and just kind of look at the tree and give a rough idea. Most of us were shocked when the dead pine came in, and all of a sudden the bark started falling off these dead pine trees, and we're looking and thinking, wow, look at the twist on those trees, the twist that we could never see. And timber cruisers are always taught that you don't call what you don't see. So there was a lot of twist on a lot of pine that never got called, because it was never seen until the bark fell off, because the trees were dead. So I'm still at that point that you can't call what you can't see, but you really got to watch what you see, and then when you do see it, do it right. And and I'll get into that more in a while. Okay, boys and girls, as we know, most of us have used these cheat sheets when it comes to evaluating twist on a tree. Okay, and it's awkward to use. Sometimes, like, we're trying to use this. This is the bottom half of 15 centimeters. We actually need the full 30 centimeters vertical, so we can calculate the centimeters across, which is your centimeters of twist. We use these cheat sheets that are Ducks Back metric, and I've learned that that's really a poor way that I've been doing it for so long, when there's a really simple way to do it. And it's with one of these protractors, which you can buy anywhere in any store for next to nothing, and you just line one of them up with the tree going straight up, and the other one with how much twist you see. And when you get the reading on that, it's like I'm reading right now at about 6 degrees. Okay, it's very simple. Well, 6 degrees, we don't work with degrees, but we can easily work with degrees. You feed it into the computer, 6, and then that turns into something else. It turns into like 12 centimeters across or something like that. And it's really simple. You just need to remember that all it is, the only math involved in this procedure is you multiply the angle by the tangent of 30 centimeters. That's very simple. In Excel, if you're going to do it in Excel, make sure that you realize Excel deals in radians, not degrees. So you need to divide your degrees by 180 and multiply by pi. Once that's done, you never think about it again. You just type in the number of degrees, and it works really well. But the important thing is, this is really important to get the twist right, because if you get it wrong, it completely messes up the value of the tree. And okay. Anyway, this is our tree. It's a pretty darn good tree. Should we leave it with that? Should I put some knots on it? Okay, let's do a few things to it. Let's give it some knots. Okay, 5 centimeters there, 8 there, 10 there. You notice how it populates up. Anytime you put in something higher, it populates automatically up. That's just a convenience. About knots, most of us have this in our books. We have knot sizes on our Ducks Back sheets, 2, 3, 4, the sizes of it, 5, and I'm trying to turn pages. We got 6 and 7, and you look up at the tree and you try to figure it out from this. This is the best way to do it, really, that I can think of. But it's very important to get these knot sizes right. Now, one thing most of us have done all of our lives is a method that I think I've done it, and it sort of works a little bit. It's sort of a poor way of doing it. But you can take your D-tape, and if I want to know what 8 centimeters looks like, I do that, and I got 8 centimeters, and then I can look up the tree. I can even look up the tree with a big bunch of centimeters. I can go with, say, 30 centimeters right here if I want to know, if I want to look up the tree and guess 30 centimeters. This is another way of doing it. I like to use the cheat sheet on the small knots, use the D-tape on the big, but the important thing is do it right. The difference between a 4 centimeter knot and a 5 centimeter knot is a grade change. When you got a grade change, you've just changed everything. You've changed the value of your block as to whether or not it might be worthy of logging as to not. So it's very, very important, and I don't know much more what to say about that, but say we've got some scars You know, okay, scar, up in here, somewhere up in here. Let's say that somewhere up here the tree just up and died. So at about 30 meters up, it up and died. Anyway, you notice up here it doesn't even matter because it's less than 10 centimeters in diameter. So what else can we have wrong with it? It's a cedar tree. They don't have much path. You know, we're not going to find very much path on a cedar tree. You can find scars and cat faces and things like that. Okay, so here we go. What have we got for a tree here? We've got, let's just grade it real quick here. We've got, for the first 4 meters, it's in perfect shape, so it can give help to its friends. And the next 3 meters, it needs help from its friends. However, we can only get 5 meters. We can't get 8. So let's go with 5 meters of D right here. And then we can't get any F because there isn't enough room. What about H's? Okay, we've got 12 meters of potential H right here. Well, we've got probably, we need some help from our friends. Let's move over here to where we got the H's. I'd like to do that so we can see what we're dealing with. If the bottom 1/3 was clean, then we've got ourselves quite a bit here. So is the bottom third clean? We got 3, 6, 9. We can easily get 8. Okay, that's really all we're going to get is 8 out of this tree. Okay, so let's get it. Okay, so there we are. Now what about I? We can get lots of I. Well, we can only get 8. That's all we can get, but that's pretty good. Okay, so we got that 8. And then we get over here, and there isn't, that M needs help, and there's only 2 meters of it anyway. We've got 7 meters of U. That's not good enough, but we can grab 5 right there. So we got 5 meters of U. The X, we needed at least 4, I think. The X, we needed 4 meters in length. Anyway, let's just pulp the rest of it out. And that's it. That's what we got. There's our log. Here's our tree. $2,300. That's not bad for that tree, even at low prices. Anyway, there's a million other things I could have done there, but anyway, that's a medium tree. I had a few things wrong with it, not much, but a few things wrong with it. Now we'll try another tree. Scar there that actually is a scar that takes 40% of it out in the net factor. So what we've really got here is a typical sort of bad hemlock tree. We don't have anything until we get to the H category. So let's do the H. Normally, everything to the left is worth more money. So here's the way we've always been taught to do is you maximize your length within the grade. Okay, the H and I is one sort, I guess you should say. Maximize your length in the sort. So how will we maximize our length in the sort? Well, I can start now. We can get 11 meters right here. We can't get any more, but we can get 11 meters of I. So let's do that. And then can we get any H? Everything else needs help from its friends. We can't get anything else until we get over here to U. Now U, we can only hit an 8. We can get 8 meters of U. So we'll do that. And then 2 meters of X doesn't work because X takes a minimum of 3 meter lengths, not 2. So we're kind of messed up there. Anyway, we'll pulp it out. Okay, so there we go. Okay, so what we have here is a tree that's worth $524. Okay, what if we had done things slightly differently? What if we'd said, okay, I wanna go for as much money as we possibly can. Okay, let me get rid of the existing grades. Let's start all over on this tree. Okay, we're starting all over. Let's see how much H we can actually get. We actually have 5 meters of H that can give help to its friends, so it can give up to 10. Well, 10 doesn't do us any good, unfortunately, but 8 does. 10, we can sometimes look at that and try to think, well, what's the problem that we can't seem to, get it? Well, we got 67 on the top. What's wrong? Well, it's probably the twist. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. We'll go with 8 on the H, okay? So we'll kick that over here. And then can we get any I at all? We can't get any I at all because there's only 3 meters that we could possibly get. These need help from their friends, but that's been taken up. No I, no J. Okay, we're back here to U again. We get 13 meters of U. So we'll quickly do that. And then everything else, then we have to just pulp everything else out. So that's done. Okay, by doing it this way, What was the difference? Instead of $524, it was $550. We actually made more money by doing it this way. Not a lot, $28 more on the tree. Of course, if you multiply that by the hectare, that's $400. If you multiply it by a box size of 30, it's almost $12,000 additional worth in our forest if we actually don't go for the longest length within the sort, but we just go with the best that we can get within the sort. So, but for all I know, the longer length within a lesser grade within the sort is actually worth more money because of the grade length. This is something you need to get straight with your client, because we want to give them the accurate numbers to what's in the forest when it comes to grades. So how we grade it, H and I's, depending on length and everything. The client needs to let us know exactly what they want, and we'll grade it accordingly, and we'll do it real quick. But we need to know right up front exactly what they want, because they want precise numbers, and these marginal stands, there's no room for error. We've got to give them exactly what they can get out of the log. So anyway, that was just an example of a ratty hemlock.